Yes, microbiology, but now it's even more important. So again, non-specific protection. So again, this is stuff defenses you're born with. So during the thousands of years of human evolution, these are the ones that our bodies and our ancestors have learned, hey, this is always foreign. So things like bacterial saccharides and polysaccharides, things like bacterial proteins, fungal proteins, other type of proteins that are foreign to our body, we kind of have some innate immunity to these things. Adaptive immunity, these are defenses you encounter during your lifetime. So innate immunity you inherited through all your ancestors. Adaptive immunity is what you learned during your lifetime. So analogy I like to use is like your computer. When you first get your computer, the pre-installed software, the operating system, things like your apps, these are all your innate immunity. But adaptive immunity, these are the things you install based on what you need, right? So things like I need to install like OBS and all my video editing software. So that's the programs you install on your computer after you get it. So these are your adaptive immune responses, or things you kind of need during your lifetime to encounter and combat against new pathogens that you don't have innate immunity against. So that's why you need to do adaptive immunity. But we will cover innate immunity. All right, so where is this? It is here in the islands. So it is in Waikiki, and this is the Wai Canal. And again, before everything happened, you do see people paddling here occasionally, right? Yep. So why do people still paddle here? So the thing is that the alawai, have you seen it? It's very brown. It smells kind of funny, and there's a reason behind that. Not only is a mixture of stream runoff and ocean water, there's also sewage in it. So why do people paddle there? I mean, despite all the sewage. Get superpowers? Well, here's what you look at enterococci. So this is a type of gut bacteria. So in other words, this is bacteria that's found in feces. So what do we see here? Well, here's different points in the alveoli. And this part right here, this little green line, that's the safe limit. So at three different parts, what do you see? The bacterial count is way above the safe limit. So why do people still paddle there? Why doesn't everyone who paddle there drop dead from infections? Well, there's a reason why. Physical barriers. So again, innate immunity also includes your physical barrier, and one big physical barrier is your skin. Again, you have limited openings into your body. So again, things like where during this whole crisis, where did they say not to touch? Your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Because why? The nose and mouth are also openings to your body. And other openings in your body include your reproductive system and your urethra, and also your anus as well. But again, where do you touch most during the day? Well, again, up here, right? So again, this is why physical everywhere else in your body, pretty much covered with skin, closed off to the external environment. So this is an innate immunity. So skin is a protective barrier. Why? Because it protects your insides from the outside and external environment. So you probably heard of, so somebody might be hoarding this, and again, what happens if you use too much of this Purell? Well, if you're like this guy, what happens? If you use too much of this alcohol-based hand sanitizer, what happens? Well, your skin might end up dry and cracked. So you are denaturing and disinfecting yourself from viruses, but what's happening here? His hands are starting to crack, and now he's saying, oh, it burns. Well, what's he doing? Well, he's using way too much of this hand sanitizer. The thing about this hand sanitizer, it dries out moisture. It also dissolves lipids, and if you're washing away those lipids in your skin, well, that's going to cause your skin to start getting dry and cracked. So what happens there? So this is again your skin up here is a protective layer that protects your inside of your body from the outside external environment. So if you use and abuse this hand sanitizer, this can cause cracks. So you might be denaturing the viral proteins and membranes, but you're also making it easier for other things like other viruses and other bacteria to actually infect your skin. So if you start having that cracks, maybe lay off the hand sanitizer, wash your hands more, maybe apply lotion after you've decontaminated your hands. So again, do not use this to the point that you're like Mr. S. William Brown here. Alright, so then we talked about your skin, your cutaneous membrane, but what about you also have a layer called the mucosae. So this is the soft part, so things like the inside of your mouth and the inside linings of your gastrointestinal tract and even your reproductive system. So when you might hear doctors or nurses talk about mucous membranes, this is what they're referring to. So these are epithelia, they are layers of skin cells, and they do have their own defenses. They're soft, but again, they're not like that our external skin and cutaneous membrane that has all that keratin, but they do have their own defenses as well. So what do they do to defend since they're not hard and dry and thick? Well, they secrete products and chemicals. So what are these secretions? Well, one secretion, mucosal membrane, is mucus. So what is mucus specifically? We know this is sticky stuff, but what does it contain? So it often contains, actually mucins, there's multiple types of mucins. It's a family of proteins, but you just need to know them collectively. So these are glycoproteins. So again, they are proteins, but they have a little added sugars to their chemical structure. And these help to thicken their secretions, or the secretion we call mucus. There's also enzymes, and these enzymes help to protect your body against foreign pathogens. And there's also things like defensins, which are antimicrobial proteins. We'll get to them real soon. And even secretions like tears, like again, your eyes, they are sensitive to infections as well. So tears are actually help to protect against infections. So you produce tears, and again, mucus and tears you produce naturally. They are innate in defenses. So lysozyme, this is an important antibacterial enzyme. So again, even though your eyes are open and moist to the environment all the time, this lysozyme is very important in preventing infections from bacteria that might happen to land on your cornea and sclera. It also has mucins as well. So tears does have a little thickness to it. There are surfactants that help to disrupt, not only like spread out the water-based tears, but also help to disrupt the membranes of bacteria and pathogens. So what is mucus? Again, so mucus kind of acts like a sticky trap. So what happens if you have pathogens entering your body? If there encounters mucus, this helps to impede, trap, and slow down the entry and invasion of pathogens inside your body. So again, so neutralizing pathogens. So yeah, is frequent hand washing or hand sanitizer better for the current situation? If you can't wash your hands, then hand sanitizer is very useful to carry around, especially if there's no bathroom around. But yeah, hand washing, again, it is also possible to wash your hands too much and get also cracked hands. So again, don't wash to the point or don't overdo it. Again, make sure that you take care of your skin, but also washing hands is always a good idea. Just don't get cracks in your skin. Okay, so these mucins, again, what we have here in this picture right here. So this part right here, this purple squiggle, this is the protein, this is the polypeptide. But all of these red branches, these are saccharides or polysaccharides. So these are all little tiny sugars. So remember, sugar, what happens if you leave like something that's very sugary or like something like cotton candy? What happens if you leave it out in this Hawaii humidity? It starts accumulating moisture, right? So sugars are very important in holding on to moistures. So what we have here are glycoproteins, and these help to thicken extracellular fluid. And how does it do that? Again, sugars hold on to moisture. So these mucins, this thanks to the protein and also mostly the polysaccharides branching off from this protein, this helps to hold on and thicken it. So it's kind of like jello. It helps to make the water-based solution more thick. So it retains water and thickens it. So what does this do? So again, would it be easier to swim through just a regular water, or if you swim through something like honey or something like jello? So mucins help to do that. Yep, it melts because of all the moisture, right?